Hey guys, this is Lisa from NYC Gal Outs. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, we are talking Real Housewives of Orange County, season 19, episode 7. Who do you believe, Katie or Gretchen? I've already said this in multiple recaps this season. A lot of people on social media has also felt this way. It is really hard when a franchise like this has like that one token minority on the show and the rest it's just all white women and it looks like a gang up no matter what it is, right? I feel like every single episode is just a continuation of it. And the optics of it just looks so bad. The other ladies, they're going to need to do something more than just have this be centered around Katie. Whether she's a liar or not, or like, what is it that the other ladies have going on? How exactly does this fit into with you, Emily, or with you, Gina, or even with Heather? Like, yeah, Heather, you and her had that whole thing last season, but now we're on season 19. Emily, like, you have some off-camera thing going on with your children, her daughter, a whole podcast, whatever. That was off cameras. Like, you're trying to continue on with that because, look, I mean, I don't think anybody is invested in whether or not Emily's son has an eating disorder. I kind of feel like that whole angle is icky in itself because even her husband was like, listen, I would have handled it differently. You know, you're making such a big deal. I probably wouldn't be running automatically thinking he's on the autism spectrum. That right there feels very icky since she has jack shit going on. That is like, you know, the one or two little scenes that they could input for her. But it feels very forced. Even her husband is kind of like, yeah, okay, this is uncomfortable. Gina, what the fuck is her storyline? I don't think people are that invested in whether her and Travis makes it or not. She needs something else also. Maybe if Shannon wants to hop onto that train, she has more of a legit story angle with Katie than Gina or Emily, or even Heather. Jen, she has a wedding coming up, but we are in episode 7 and we've hardly seen anything about her wedding planning. Like, are these two still getting married? I don't know, because everything just seems to be centered around Katie. I also feel like Tamara using Teddy's cancer is very icky. So the ladies are still in New Orleans. Tamara, she bounced in episode 6. She went home 4 in the morning. She flew out and, you know, she posted on Instagram that she quit and whatever else. Of course, she doesn't quit. They all make that threat, but then when push comes to shove, they always walk it back. Heather meets up with Tamara back in the OC and Heather's like, I did care about you. I tried to reach out to you. I called you. I FaceTimed you. You hung up on me because Tamara was trying to push that bullshit about nobody reached out to me. Nobody contacted me. She even said it to her therapist. And then she tried to regurgitate that with Heather. And Heather was like, no, that's bullshit. Once Heather hit her with the facts, then all of a sudden she's like, you don't know what I'm going through. You're having your daughter not talk to you and your best friend, you know, going through cancer. Geez, how convenient. It went from nobody even contacted me to all of a sudden, this is all the shit I have going in my life. Okay, so let's talk about the last dinner in New Orleans. The ladies were all there minus Tamara. And Gina and Emily, they think that they are going to be the next Heather Gay. Nobody is going to be able to replicate the infamous Heather Gay receipts, timeline, screenshot. That's not happening. But that doesn't mean that they won't try. They are trying to have their Heather Gay moment. It's landing flat. It's like, it's not hitting. So Gina's like, well, I wanted to get to the bottom of this. Like, girl, why is it your business? That should be Gretchen's business to do. She's more than capable of doing it herself. But like I said, they have jack shit going on. So Gina's like, well, I wanted to get to the bottom of this. So I reached out to a reputable journalist and he confirmed that you told Kiki this. Did Katie say it? I do think she said it. Now, did she just pull it out of her ass? No. Gretchen told her. And I do believe that Gretchen told her because even before Katie came on, Gretchen and Slade have been making the rounds saying that she was drugged. You know that even before anyone found out who the hell Katie Gianella was, that was the narrative that they were going with. Gretchen, let's not rewrite history. Why is she stepping away from that narrative now? She's stepping away from that narrative now because she's smart enough to know that, yeah, you say that stuff, they don't tend to get a contract. She's looking for that full-time contract. All of a sudden, you start talking about roofies and all this other stuff. That's not going to be the best way for you to get back in with the network. Caroline Mansell, Leah McSweeney, Brandy Glanville, like she doesn't want to be grouped into that. That's why she's walking back that narrative. Now, however, I'm not delusional though. I can still see in the same scene how Katie is, that conversation between Katie and her husband, Matt, I saw her trying to explain it away. Katie is missing the whole entire thing. Jen said it perfectly in her confessional. Even if Gretchen said that, why would you, Katie, run and tell Kiki about that? Why would you? Unless you want to say that Gretchen and Slade wanted you to put that story out. And if that was the case, you should have said it to the producer. When the producer said, why don't you start from the beginning? She's like, okay, well, the truth is, we were out to dinner. It was Ryan and Jen, Slade and Gretchen, me and Matt, and Gretchen absolutely did say that. There was no mistaking it. Yeah, okay, we get that. And I absolutely believe that 100%. What I don't believe is that Gretchen would then go and say, oh, the way, tell all the bloggers this. That's the problem that I think Gretchen and Jen have with you, Katie. And you're trying to say, I think Gretchen got caught in a lie of embellishment. Like, no, Katie, you are a messy ass drama queen. It's not Tamara bringing this out, and it's not Gretchen embellishing her lie. This would have never happened. You would not have taken it to bloggers. This is just like with Shannon. Okay, and a lot of people gave you grace with Shannon because, like, legit, she's like a little, barbecue Becky energy. But what happened with Shannon would never have happened, not because of Tamara, but it would never have happened if you had just kept it to yourself. You shared that. And I think it's because she wants to fit in. Look, sometimes when you want to fit in with a group, you share stuff that you necessarily shouldn't. What you're sharing is not your business. So look, her whole explanation about what she did with Shannon, she was on the phone with her banker and whatever. If Shannon didn't want it to be her business, she shouldn't have it on speakerphone. Got it. And then you said that you didn't share it with anyone except with your husband, Matt, just to tell him what was going on. Got it. But the problem is you did share it beyond Matt. That's how Tamara knew about it. And Tamara knew about it because you shared it with Alexis. Loose lips sink ships. Katie, if she was in that military life, Katie's husband would never have gotten a top secret clearance because his wife would be out there spilling national security secrets. Like, yes, there is an expectation that you would share stuff like this with Matt, but unless you're trying to throw your husband Matt under the bus and saying that Matt is the one that, is putting it all out there, you, Katie, you are the one putting it all out there. So it's not even that you're not playing the same game that all these other ladies are, because yes, legit, they all play the same shit. It's the fact that you're so sloppy at it. So even though all the other ladies have been guilty of the same thing, you are not being strategic with it and you're being sloppy. These content creators, podcaster, bloggers, they are there to make content. They are there to promote their channel, their accounts, their social media. And the only way to do that is to get gossip, breaking tea, all this other stuff. This will look disastrous for you because they are there to promote their shit. You might get favorable accounts that will really hype you up, but that's not going to take away from the overall audience. What you did was shitty. Even that whole recording Shannon thing, it was shitty. I do feel like Shannon, she was like way over the top, especially at that dinner where she's like just barbecue Becky energy. But at the same time, like, look, even if you were to use your own logic and rationalize why it wasn't a big deal to record Shannon and whatever, got it. However, how do you rationalize sharing that recording with anyone beyond your husband? If Shannon didn't do anything to you, she wasn't being Heather, she wasn't being Emily, she wasn't being Gina, she was being supportive of you. So why would you share it with someone besides from your husband, Matt? And even if Gretchen and Slade told you guys all that at dinner, got it. You didn't make that part up, got it. Why would you go and share it with Kiki? It's not, as a viewer, it's not so much of whether or not Gretchen said it or not. Even if Gretchen did say it, why would you go and share that? Unless you want to say that Gretchen and Slade told you guys to go and put that out there, which I don't believe that she did. So why would you take it upon yourself to share a story that wasn't yours to share? If that is the narrative that she wants to push, why would you then go and make it your business to go and share it? That was basically the whole wrap up. I mean, stupid is whatever. She didn't go on the cash trip. I don't know how that's going to play out for her. I feel like she's having a really bad season. I don't know if she's coming back or not, but Kiki makes an appearance. This upcoming episode, we see Gretchen having a sit down with Kiki. Let me tell you, Gretchen, you're not that great of an actress. You're not good at all, to be frank. They all think they're great actresses because they legit think that they are like celebrity actresses. Like, no, girl, you're just like messy ass people that we like seeing on our television screen. It's like kind of like, you know what? When YouTube first came out, you used to be able to record fights. It was like homeless people beating the shit out of each other. You can't do that now because now if you do it, they restrict your content. But back in the early days before all of this red tape, that used to legit be a thing. Like people would just randomly be like recording people fighting. I feel like these ladies think that they're celebrities and they don't realize that we as a society, we like the brain rot. We like watching messy shit like that. That's why homeless people beating the shit out of each other was so entertaining. So in that sense, Gretchen, you're not a very good actress. None of you guys are. I absolutely believe that was the narrative you were running with. However, that really doesn't explain or excuse why Katie is taking it amongst her own self-interest to push everybody else's stuff out there. It's kind of like what happened with Heather. She basically started it out by saying Heather called the paparazzis on herself in Disneyland. Like, what did it matter to you whether she did or she didn't? With the whole Shannon thing, even if we understood and believe, which I don't believe, that she was on a phone call with her investor, let's be real, the only reason why Tamara knows about it is because you did share it with Alexis and Alexis told Tamara. Same thing with this whole Gretchen thing. Yeah, Gretchen might have told you guys that, but you were the one that took it upon yourself to share it with Kiki. So there you have it. What do you guys think? Do you think that Katie is coming back next season? What do you make of it? Do you guys think that Katie will show up at the reunion? She wouldn't be the first. There's been a few housewives who have not shown up at the reunion. Look, Mary Cosby, she didn't show up at the reunion, but they actually did bring her back. All right, guys, don't forget to hit the like, follow, subscribe, leave me a comment, and all of that good jazz.